Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here once again. It's another night of fun, learning, and of course, fellowship, no? Because we're all in this together, no? So medyo matagal-tagal na rin tayo nagiging classmate, no? Sa masterclass na to. And I'm so excited in this journey and alam niyo po saan ako excited? Excited ako dun sa process of who you will become sa pagdating po ng panahon. No, I personally believe, no, ito yung pinapaniwalaan ko talaga na the more we equip ourselves, the more po na marami po tayong natutunan, the more po nagiging sharp yung mind po natin, at the more din po tayo na makapag-create ng maraming mga ideas. At alam niyo po, marami pong negosyo was born out of ideas. Marami pong tao po ay madali po silang bumigay pagdating po sa negosyo. Not because na hindi po nila kaya, but primarily because nagkulang po sila doon sa mga tinatawag natin na support group. Yun po yung kulang nila. And the intention of this community, this Pinoy Homepreneur community po, ang intention po sa community na to ay palakasin po ang samahan na to para we will have each other to lift one another and to encourage each other. Yun po yung pinaka bottom line na purpose. Now, if you are there na ngayon, naka-tune in na po kayo, baka may mga friends po kayo na wala pa po dito sa klase po natin. Tawagan niyo po sila. Text niyo po, chat niyo, or kaya i-mention niyo po dyan sa comment section para ma-notify lang po sila. Kasi minsan nakakalimutan nila yung oras eh. Pero so far, hindi naman tayo nag-change ng mga schedules eh. We always fix our schedule so that people will know and remember the schedule, of course, no? So we are now in episode 9, no? Nasa episode 9 na po tayo. Akalain mo, no? Naka 8 episodes na pala tayo. Nandun na 9 episode na tayo. Sa tingin ko, aabot pa tayo ng nito eh. 15 or 20 episodes. So medyo mahaba-haba po ang topic na to eh. Pero maganda ang topic na to, no? So far ba dun sa mga topic po natin na napag-usapan, may mga napulot po ba kayo na mga learnings? May mga napulot po ba kayo na aral? Was it beneficial po ba sa inyo? Na masasabi niyo po sa sarili niyo na may natutunan ako sa masterclass ni Coach. May natutunan ba kayo sa masterclass natin? Do you have anything na nabitbit nyo at na-apply nyo po doon sa masterclass? Dito sa masterclass? May natutunan po ba tayo? No? Sino po bang may masasabi na may natutunan sila at eto po ay na-apply na? Sino po ba sa inyo? Yan, si Ann, may natutunan na daw siya. Yung iba ho, do you have, can you say to yourself that you were able to learn in this masterclass? Kasi baka ako lang yung nag-expect ba na may natutunan ang mga students natin. Can you say to yourself that you have learned something out of our masterclass? Yan, sabi ni Julius, sobra, daghan kayo, so much learning, sir. Thank you, Julius. Do. Can you say to yourself that you have learned something dito po sa masterclass? Kasi naka 9 episode na po tayo. Today is our 9th episode, no? So baka ako lang po yung nag-expect na may natutunan, but nevertheless pala wala pa lang nagiging input and output on your side, no? So yan, greetings muna tayo, no? Yan. Kakailanganin na talaga ng glasses, hindi nakakayanin ng mata. No? So ito na po ay sign of progress. Okay? So tonight, hello kay Ann Manili from South Korea. Hello Ann. Si Tanya, no? Tanya Maranga from Olango Island. Oh, kabisado ko, no? Olango Island. Si Milbert Tanio from Mandawi City. Si Sheila Iscasinas from Liloan, Cebu. Sino pa ba dito? Mel Berdan here in Lapu-Lapu. Ivy Dale Andalis from Minglanilla, Cebu. Julius Dusdus in Cebu City. Then Monald Chris Cadabos in Cebu City pa rin. Maricel Sungahid, nandito lang sa Mandawi City. Sino pa bang nandito? Kanina parang nakita ko si Noel ata, no? Pero anyway, sino pa ba dito? Melbert, natapos na. Si Ividel, tapos na rin. Jane Nafi Gallo, no? Thank you for joining, Jane Nafi. I'm not so sure, no, but Jane Nafi, is this your first time to join the masterclass? No, this is your first time to join the mastermind class? No, si John Nafi po. Then si Mary Ann Quintinita, all the way from Balamban, Cebu, no? Who else is here? Glenn Baguio from Dumaguete City. Si Ana Lea Nombrano, no? I don't know kung saan si Ana Lea. Siguro dito lang sa Cebu. RD Perez all the way from Davao. Renita Francisco here in Lapu-Lapu City. Catray Saison, no, in Mandawi City. Si Sheramay Lim, nandito lang sa Lapu-Lapu City din. Who else? Si Mercy from Naga City, Cebu. Jaime Tiin from Quezon City. Si Jaime taga Quezon City. Kasama din po natin ngayon si Warren Santillana. No? Si Helen from Quezon City also. Who else is here? Irene Krita. Ito si Irene. Ano na to? Faithful attendee po to. Roslyn Mantalaba dito sa Lapu-Lapu City. Yan. Okay. Great, no? Who else is here? Ganda ko para mabasa natin. Yan. Okay. Baka may nag-join tapos hindi pa po na-approve. Paki-check. Check natin. Siguro may nag-a-approve. Okay. Ayan. Okay, great, no? Great. So guys, nandito na po tayo sa episode 9. Sa episode 8 po, inumpisahan po nating i-describe ano nga ba ang entrepreneur. So, may mga discussion po tayong ginawa kahapon, mga characters and attributes na makikita po natin na itong tao na to ay isa talaga siyang entrepreneur. Now, sa gabi na to, ipagpatuloy po natin kung saan po tayo nag-left off, no? So, siguro papasada lang po tayo ng kaunting review siguro para at least ma-remind po natin. Now, dito po tayo nag-left off, no? Kasi nasabi natin na ang isang entrepreneur, kung meron siyang distinct na characteristic na meron talaga siya sa isang entrepreneur po, ay ito po yung word na risk. Hindi po kayo matatawag na entrepreneur kung hindi po kayo risk taker, no? So wala po tayong nakita na isang negosyante na hindi po risk taker. So lahat po 'yan, pag sinabi po nating negosyante, risk taker po 'yan, no? So at a certain point, may ginawa talaga siya kung bakit nasabi niya sa sarili niya na nag-take risk po siya. Okay? So ito po yung nagiging definition natin sa word na risk. Ang sabi dito, R stands for relationship to be built. At sinabi natin kahapon na ang relationship dapat ay intentional yan. Hindi yan basta lang nangyayari na nagkakaroon ng relationship, nagkakaroon ng business relationship. Kumbaga, sadya talagang ginawa na makultivate ang isang relationship. Tapos I represents for investment to be made. Ano ba tong investment na gagawin mo? S stands for skills to be learned. At letter K po, ito po yung knowledge to be possessed. Okay? So yan po yung acronym para mas madali po nating ma-remember. So pag sinabi pong risk, ayan ang papasok sa isipan nyo. Relationship to be built, investment to be made, skills to be learned, and knowledge to be possessed. Now ngayon, sa pagpapatuloy po, nandito na, ito po yung pinag-usapan natin yesterday or last night. Ito po yung relationship that built. Ngayon po, sa gabing ito, ang pag-uusapan natin ay yung letter I. ito po yung investment to be made. Na? Ito po yung letter I ang pag-uusapan po natin ngayon, investment to be made. Alam mo, marami pong tao na natatakot po na mag-umpisa ng isang negosyo kasi ang una talagang papasok sa isipan nila ay yung pera. Ay, ayaw kong magnegosyo. Hindi ako magninegosyo kasi wala akong pera. Saka na kasi wala akong pera. Later na ako mag-isip na kung paano maging isang negosyante pag may pera na ako. Now, yun po ang mga common school of thoughts. Yun po kadalasan mag-isip ang mga tao. That is the reason why marami pong hesitant na magnegosyo. Okay? So hindi naman po natin sila mabiblame kung bakit po ganun po yung mindset nila at mentalidad nila. Kasi sabi ko pa nga, we are never taught in school about money. Hindi po tayo tinuruan ng school. May subject tayo na math, pero hindi tayo tinuruan about money. So in short, wala talaga tayong ka-idea kung ano pa talaga ang pagiging isang entrepreneur. No? Yung school system natin ay iba po yung training na ginagawa niya at iba po yung training na ginawad po ng school system natin. Hindi po masama yun, sadyang iba-iba lang po yung nagiging objective doon. They have done what they felt to be the best way to develop our student, but iba-ibang objective po yun. No? Pero hindi ko sasabihin mali yun. Yun din po yung based dun sa objective na gusto nilang ma-accomplish. Okay? So ngayon, ang pag-uusapan natin ay tungkol po dito sa letter I, investment to be made. People are afraid to venture into business thinking that it needs a bigger monetary capital. Ito po yung always na kinatatakutan ng tao. Yan ito yung sinabi ko kanina. Na parati silang apprehensive kung may mag-offer sa kanila ng opportunity, madali silang magsabi ng no kasi iniisip nila na bago ma-materialize ang negosyo na to, kailangan kong magkaroon ng limpak-limpak na salapi. Yun ang nasa isipan nila. Kaya nga, pag may mag-explain sa kanila ng opportunity, hindi na nila ito pagbibigyan. Hindi na nila pakikinggan. Bagkus ito ay tatalikuran na lang nila. Kasi ang iniisip nila, total, wala naman akong pera, saka na ako mag-isip ng negosyo. Ganon ang always na iniisip nila. Well, I cannot blame them for that kind of mentality. But at least they could have just listened to it. Pinakinggan na lang sana. No, kung tutuusin naman, ay wala naman talagang mawawala kung ito naman ay pakikinggan mo. Pero bakit nga ba ang tao ay ayaw talagang makinig? Ayaw talaga nilang bigyan ng chance na ito ay marinig kung ano yung explanation. Alam mo, let me share you some stories. And this happened very fresh kasi nangyari po ito last Sunday. No, last Sunday, itong Sunday lang. Now, I was invited by a friend of mine na pumunta sa SM kasi may imi-meet up kami, no? May imi-meet up kami na person na, ang sabi ay makapagbigay ng idea with regards to a certain platform. Okay? So, syempre, negosyante tayo mag-isip. No? Negosyante tayo mag-isip. Nandyan na po yung element of risk. Pero nandyan din po yung nasa isipan ko, what if maganda ang platform na to? Eh, ma-miss out ko kung hindi ko papakinggan. So, to cut the story short, nag-decide ako na pumunta. So, nakarating kami doon, kasama ko po yung anak ko, tapos yung friend ko, tapos nag-meet kami doon. Now, as it unfolds, no? Yan, sinishare na, ini-explain na pa isa-isa, unti-unti ko pong na-identify na parang kabisado ko ang explanation na to eh. At parang nararamdaman ko na alam ko kung ano yung ini-explain niya. Okay? So, hindi naman ako nagka-cut. Inalaw ko lang siya na matapos. Pinakinggan ko siya hanggang sa pinakadulo talaga. trying to be really, really polite in all of this. No? So, syempre, Sunday sana, I could just have rested at home. So, but anyway, ganun tayo eh, negosyante tayo eh. So, we don't talk about how much money na kakailanganin pa dyan kasi ang goal talaga ng isang negosyante, pakinggan muna. Money is the last thing we are going to consider. Di ba? Ganun ang negosyante eh. Money is the last thing that we are going to consider. Pakinggan muna natin, saka na natin problemahin yan ng pera. Kumbaga, kasi kung ganon talaga kaganda ang negosyo na to, eh mahanapan ng paraan yan. Ganon always yung mga mga diskarte ko sa buhay eh. Ganon yung mindset talaga eh. So, ayan, pinakinggan ko. Did I join? Did I grab the opportunity? No, hindi. Because I'm not convinced with the opportunity. But I was there. I did listen. Tinapos ko po mula sa umpisa hanggang katapusan. Kumbaga wala po akong sinayang na opportunity na pakinggan. Kasi sabi ko, may mga matutunan naman tayo nito eh. It may not be the kind of learning na gusto natin, pero alam ko po na may matutunan tayo. In fact, may natutunan ako. In fact, sabi ko nga, I'm gonna do a presentation like that. Sabi ko sa sarili ko, may nakuha akong learning, may nakuha akong input. And that's how businessmen think. Okay? Kaya ito sinabi dito, people are afraid to venture into business thinking that it needs a bigger monetary capital. Now, meron nga bang capital? Meron nga bang capital na kakailanganin? Well, of course, wala naman pong negosyo na wala pong kailangan na capital. I mean, I haven't seen, no, na wala pong negosyo na hindi po kakailanganin ng capital. Now, so, how to start a business? Ito na. No, how to start a business using human capital. Ayan. How to start a business using human capital. Okay. Now, bago ko po, kasi gusto ko pong ma-curious kayo eh. Gusto ko pong ma-curious kayo. How to start a business using human capital. Ano sa tingin mo yan? Ano sa tingin mo ang idea na meron ako na isi-share ko sa inyo ngayon? Gauging on the statement that I made, how to start a business using human capital. Ano sa tingin niyo po yan? Can you have some ideas that you can share? Meron po ba tayong ideas dyan na pwede po nating pagsaluhan na ma-share po ninyo? What do you think that I am referring to sa statement nito, guys? Para at least lang po, magkakaroon lang po tayo ng point of discussion. Ano sa tingin nyo ang nasa isipan nyo when I said how to start a business using human capital? What do you think it is? Sabi ni Sir Gilbert, by the way, hello Gilbert. Gilbert is joining with us from Saudi Arabia. And Jofil Pansakala is also joining with us. Hello, Jofil. Marvin John De Leon is also here. Thank you, Marvin, for joining us. I saw kanina si, sino ba yun? Charlie Laganson. Thank you for joining with us, Charlie. Si Nancy Batukan din, nandito rin, joining with us. No, thank you. So, again, what is it that you think na nirefer ko po nung sinabi ko po yan, how to start a business using human capital? Ano sa tingin niyo po ang ibig sabihin ko po dyan? Sabi ni Roslyn, inviting people. Sige. Ano pa? Ano pa ba ang nasa isipan niyo po dyan? Anybody? Anybody you have in mind na do you think na ano yung idea ninyo? Hello, Yula Perianes. Thank you for joining. What do you think I am referring to? Nandito rin si Marites de la Cruz. Thank you for joining, Marites. Come on, guys. Share your ideas. Come on. I need your participation. Come on, guys. What's your idea nung sinabi ko po na sinabi ko po yung statement na yan? How to start a business using human capital. Sabi ni Marivic Delgado, mind setting. Sabi ni Maricel, leveraging. Ano pa? What do you have in your mind? Na nung sinabi ko yan, how to start a business using human capital. Yung iba ho, what's your idea? Now, there are 42 of us here inside the meeting room, and I would like to know what's your idea when we say how to start a business using human capital. Sabi ni Ronaldine, hello Ronaldine, network. No, yun ang sabi ni Ronaldine. Sabi ni LMA, helping united mankind, and it's network. Ayun. Network. Sabi ni Raul, it's networking. No? It's networking. Sige. Kasi didiscuss natin yan. No? Didiscuss natin yan. Okay. Now, ito po yung ibig sabihin ko nang sinabi ko po na human capital. Ito po. Ayan. So, what does it mean nung sinabi natin na human capital? By the way, ako, suggestion ko po dito mga classmate, kung meron po kayong ballpen dyan, mag-take down notes kayo habang nagdi-discuss po tayo dito. Okay? Mag-take down notes kayo para ito po ay ma-absorb nyo po, ay ma-remember nyo po. Okay? Sabi ni Anelea, hiring people having knowledge about the business. Ito po, nandito po yung definition ng human. Sabi ni Tanya, sarili natin is our own capital. Okay? Yan. Sabi ni Michelle Flora, time and effort. Okay. Now, eyes on the screen, please. H stands for hours or time. Okay? Hours or time. Yun po yung ibig sabihin ng H. U stands for utilization of technology. Okay? Utilization of technology. M stands for material things. A stands for abilities that you have. And N stands for network or your contacts. Okay. So yan po yung human capital. So yun po yung kakailanganin natin pala para makapag-umpisa ng negosyo. So ano nga yun? Hours or time. Oras. Utilization of technology. Material things, letter M. A is abilities that you have. And network or contacts. Okay, yun po yung ibig sabihin ko ng human. Okay. So, umpisahan natin, no? But bago po natin pag-usapan ng todo-todo to, may video po akong hinanda dito. Ito po ay isang video na dineliver po ni Steve Jobs. Si Steve Jobs po ang nag-deliver nito na video. In one of the commencement exercises, graduation ho, no? In one of the graduation, at na-invite si Steve Jobs na bilang isang speaker sa graduation na yan. Now, baka ako lang may kakilala na nakakilala kay Steve Jobs. Nakakilala ba kayo? Kilala nyo ba si Steve Jobs? Kilala nyo ba si Steve Jobs? Or sino ba si Steve Jobs? Kilala nyo ba siya? Sino bang nakakakilala sa kanya? Sino bang nakakakilala kay Steve Jobs? Kilala nyo po ba siya? Sino ba siya? Sino ba siya? Sino ba si Steve Jobs? Sino po? Sino siya? Owner ng Apple Company. Oh, yun. Si Steve, no, si paring Steve, siya po ay ang owner ng Apple. Yung hawak-hawak mo na iPhone ngayon, siya po ang may gawa niyan. No? Yung hawak-hawak mo na iPad, gawa rin niya, siya rin ang gawa niyan. Yung MacBook, nagamit ko ngayon, siya din po ang may gawa niyan. No? Si Steve Jobs. Now, may video po ako na hinanda. Pero ito po yung gawin natin. Okay, ha? Okay, mag-agree muna tayo. Okay. Hello, Lynn Kadusale. Thank you for joining. Hello, Michelle Flora. No? Jacqueline Raffles, thank you for joining. Palakpakan naman dyan. No? Thank you, Jackie. I'm really looking forward na mag-attend talaga kayo ni Adonis. No? So sana tuloy-tuloy na po yan para tuloy-tuloy na po yung mga biyaya natin sa negosyo. Okay? So, ito po yung gawin natin. Ipapakita ko po yung video. Ipapakita ko po yung video. Pero, mag-take down notes kayo, no? Ipapakita ko po yung video, mag-take down notes kayo, sasabihin niya, tapos pag-usapan natin after ng video. Okay ba yon? Okay kayo dyan? Ipapakita ko po yung video, mag-take down notes kayo kung ano po yung sinasabi ni Steve, ni paring Steve. No? So mag-take down. Sige na, kuha muna ng papel. Okay. Get your paper para pagkatapos po, pass your paper naman. Okay. Get your paper and ball pen. No, lapis at papel. No, get your ball pen and paper. Okay? Sino ba dyan ang may hawak na ball pen at paper? Okay? Can you raise your hand? Sino ba dyan may hawak na ball pen at papel? Can you raise your hand? No? Rain! Hello, Rain! Thank you for being here. Nakapag-umpisa na po tayo, Rain. No? Past 8 o'clock na. Okay. Sino ba dito yung meron ng lapis at papel or ballpen at papel? Sino ba? Sino bang meron ng ballpen at papel? Sino ba dyan ang meron ng ballpen at papel? Si Michelle Flora, meron ng ballpen at papel. Sino pa? Sino pa dyan ang meron ng ballpen at papel? Na para malaman natin. Kasi importante kasi, guys, mastermind class po to, klase. Okay? So, si Tanya Maranga, meron ng papel. Si Milberdan, meron ng papel. Si Joe Phil Pansakala, meron ng papel at ballpen. Si Gilbert Menyosa, meron na rin. Si LMA, meron na rin. Who else? Who else na meron pang papel at ballpen? Okay? Balik klase tayo nito. Si Nancy Batukan na meron na rin. Si Charlie Laganson, good. Si Helen, ano ba? Yan, meron na rin. Si Elena, hello Elena Godines, thank you for joining. Yan, may papel na rin. Si Raul, may papel na rin. Si Yola, no? Perinyes, may papel na rin. Okay? Si Weng Sarita, okay, may papel na rin. Hello, John! Thank you for joining, John, ha? John, kahapon nandito ka ba? No, I haven't seen you, but I'm glad that you're here. No, I'm glad that you're here, John. So, John is from Tuboso, kababayan ni Noel Maglasang. No? Si John Sonyo ay taga Tuboso, Negros Occidental, kababayan ni Noel Maglasang. Okay. Yan. So, Jovi Carrasco is here. Meron na po ba kayong ballpen at papel? Come on, get your ballpen and paper. Come on, guys. Go. Ballpen and paper. Ano kaya pagdating ng Sabado, magpa-raffle tayo? Gusto niyo ba? Gusto niyo bang magpa-raffle pag Sabado? No, raffle tayo ha. Raffle tayo pagdating ng Sabado. Okay, raffle tayo. Excited ako dyan. Magpa-raffle tayo. Okay. So ito po ang gagawin natin. Ipapakita ko po yung video. Last instruction po. Ipapakita ko po yung video. Tapos pakinggan nyo po ng maigi. Tapos isulat nyo po yung sa tingin nyo importante na mga message ni Steve. Tapos discuss natin afterwards. Okay, here it is.
Thank you. I'm honored to be with you today for your commencement from one of the finest universities in the world. Truth be told, I never graduated from college, and this is the closest I've ever gotten to a college graduation. Today, I want to tell you 3 stories from my life. That's it. No big deal. Just 3 stories. The first story is about connecting the dots. I dropped out of Reed College after the first 6 months, but then stayed around as a drop-in for another 18 months or so before I really quit. So why'd I drop out? It started before I was born. My biological mother was a young, unwed graduate student, and she decided to put me up for adoption. She felt very strongly that I should be adopted by college graduates, so everything was all set for me to be adopted at birth by a lawyer and his wife. Except that when I popped out, they decided at the last minute that they really wanted a girl. So my parents, who were on a waiting list, got a call in the middle of the night asking, "We've got an unexpected baby boy. Do you want him?" They said, "Of course." My biological mother found out later that my mother had never graduated from college and that my father had never graduated from high school. She refused to sign the final adoption papers. She only relented a few months later when my parents promised that I would go to college. This was the start in my life. And 17 years later, I did go to college. But I naively chose a college that was almost as expensive as Stanford. And all of my working class parents' savings were being spent on my college tuition. After 6 months, I couldn't see the value in it. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, and no idea how college was going to help me figure it out. And here I was, spending all of the money my parents had saved their entire life. So I decided to drop out and trust that it would all work out okay. It was pretty scary at the time, but looking back, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. The minute I dropped out, I could stop taking the required classes that didn't interest me and begin dropping in on the ones that looked far more interesting. It wasn't all romantic. I didn't have a dorm room, so I slept on the floor in friends' rooms. I returned Coke bottles for the 5-cent deposits to buy food with. And I would walk the 7 miles across town every Sunday night to get one good meal a week at the Hare Krishna temple. I loved it. And much of what I stumbled into by following my curiosity and intuition turned out to be priceless later on. Let me give you one example. Reed College at that time offered perhaps the best calligraphy instruction in the country. Throughout the campus, every poster, every label on every drawer was beautifully hand calligraphed. Because I had dropped out and didn't have to take the normal classes, I decided to take a calligraphy class to learn how to do this. I learned about serif and sans serif typefaces, about varying the amount of space between different letter combinations, about what makes great typography great. It was beautiful, historical, artistically subtle in a way that science can't capture, and I found it fascinating. None of this had even a hope of any practical application in my life. But 10 years later, when we were designing the first Macintosh computer, it all came back to me. And we designed it all into the Mac. It was the first computer with beautiful typography. If I had never dropped in on that single course in college, the Mac would have never had multiple typefaces or proportionally spaced fonts. And since Windows just copied the Mac, it's likely that no personal computer would have them. If I had never dropped out, I would have never dropped in on that calligraphy class, and personal computers might not have the wonderful typography that they do. Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward when I was in college, but it was very, very clear looking backwards 10 years later. Again, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever, because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart even when it leads you off the well-worn path, and that will make all the difference. My second story is about love and loss. I was lucky. I found what I loved to do early in life. Woz and I started Apple in my parents' garage when I was 20. We worked hard, and in 10 years, Apple had grown from just the two of us in a garage into a $2 billion company with over 4,000 employees. We just released our finest creation, the Macintosh, a year earlier, and I just turned 30. And then I got fired. How can you get fired from a company you started? Well, as Apple grew, we hired someone who I thought was very talented to run the company with me. And for the first year or so, things went well. But then our visions of the future began to diverge, and eventually we had a falling out. When we did, our board of directors sided with him. And so at 30, I was out, and very publicly out. What had been the focus of my entire adult life was gone, and it was devastating. I really didn't know what to do for a few months. I felt that I had let the previous generation of entrepreneurs down, that I had dropped the baton as it was being passed to me. I met with David Packard and Bob Noyce and tried to apologize for screwing up so badly. I was a very public failure, and I even thought about running away from the valley. But something slowly began to dawn on me. I still loved what I did. The turn of events at Apple had not changed that one bit. I'd been rejected, but I was still in love. And so I decided to start over. I didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again, less sure about everything. It freed me to enter one of the most creative periods of my life. During the next 5 years, I started a company named Next, another company named Pixar, and fell in love with an amazing woman who would become my wife. Pixar went on to create the world's first computer animated feature film, Toy Story, and is now the most successful animation studio in the world. In a remarkable turn of events, Apple bought Next, and I returned to Apple, and the technology we developed at Next is at the heart of Apple's current renaissance. And Lorene and I have a wonderful family together. I'm pretty sure none of this would have happened if I hadn't been fired from Apple. It was awful tasting medicine, but I guess the patient needed it. My third story is about death. When I was 17, I read a quote that went something like, "If you live each day as if it was your last, someday you'll most certainly be right." It made an impression on me, and since then, for the past 33 years, I have looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? And whenever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. Because almost everything, all external expectations, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart. About a year ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. I had a scan at 7:30 in the morning, and it clearly showed a tumor on my pancreas. I didn't even know what a pancreas was. The doctors told me this was almost certainly a type of cancer that is incurable, and that I should expect to live no longer than 3 to 6 months. My doctor advised me to go home and get my affairs in order, which is doctor's code for prepare to die. It means to try and tell your kids everything you thought you'd have the next 10 years to tell them in just a few months. It means to make sure everything is buttoned up so that it will be as easy as possible for your family. It means to say your goodbyes. I lived with that diagnosis all day. Later that evening, I had a biopsy where they stuck an endoscope down my throat, through my stomach and into my intestines, put a needle into my pancreas and got a few cells from the tumor. I was sedated, but my wife, who was there, told me that when they viewed the cells under a microscope, the doctors started crying because it turned out to be a very rare form of pancreatic cancer that is curable with surgery. I had the surgery, and thankfully, I'm fine now. This was the closest I've been to facing death, and I hope it's the closest I get for a few more decades. Having lived through it, I can now say this to you with a bit more certainty than when death was a useful but purely intellectual concept. No one wants to die. Even people who want to go to heaven don't want to die to get there. And yet, death is the destination we all share. No one has ever escaped it. And that is as it should be, because death is very likely the single best invention of life. It's life's change agent. It clears out the old to make way for the new. Right now, the new is you. But someday, not too long from now, you will gradually become the old and be cleared away. Sorry to be so dramatic, but it's quite true. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. When I was young, there was an amazing publication called the Whole Earth Catalog, which was one of the Bibles of my generation. It was created by a fellow named Stuart Brand, not far from here in Menlo Park, and he brought it to life with his poetic touch. This was in the late 60s, before personal computers and desktop publishing, so it was all made with typewriters, scissors, and Polaroid cameras. It was sort of like Google in paperback form 35 years before Google came along. It was idealistic, overflowing with neat tools and great notions. Stuart and his team put out several issues of the Whole Earth Catalog, and then, when it had run its course, they put out a final issue. It was the mid-1970s, and I was your age. On the back cover of their final issue was a photograph of an early morning country road, the kind you might find yourself hitchhiking on if you were so adventurous. Beneath it were the words, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." It was their farewell message as they signed off. Stay hungry, stay foolish. And I have always wished that for myself. And now, as you graduate to begin anew, I wish that for you. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Thank you all very much.
Okay. So, okay. Sige. I bet na may mga kahit papaano may naisulat kayo dyan, no? Sa message ni Steve Jobs, no? 3 lessons na we have captured. But okay, anyway, let me hear what you have captured. Yung na-capture na, hindi naman kailangan talaga lahat ma-capture eh. Kasi one passing lang naman na pinakinggan natin. So ano ba yung na-capture mo na medyo na-struck ka at nakita mo na, ay, napakaganda na statement to. Sige daw, anybody would like to share? Anybody would like to start sharing? Para po, anything lang na ma-capture po, no? Anything lang, hindi naman kailangan talaga na ano eh. Sabi ni Rain, stay hungry, stay foolish. Ganun din ang sinabi ni Maricel, stay hungry, stay foolish. Grabe, yung last portion lang ang na-capture. Ano pa? Maliban po dito. Ayan, ito maganda to. Our time is limited, so make use of it. Love what you do and stay hungry and stay foolish. And sabi din dito, don't waste our time because it's limited. No, wag mo daw sayangin yung oras mo kasi limitado po yan. So time is limited. Don't waste it. Ano pa? Time is limited. Ano pa? Connecting the dots. Looking backward. O yun, connecting the dots. Alam mo, etong connecting the dots na story. By the way, type kayo ha, para ano lang, tuloy-tuloy lang tayo. sa connecting the dots, akalain mo hindi naintindihan ni Steve Jobs kung bakit nag-enroll siya ng calligraphy class. Kasi nag-ano siya nag-drop out siya Only to find out, looking backwards, after many years, nung ginawa na po niya yung kauna-unahang Apple computer, una-unang Mac, doon na niya na recall na ilalagay pala doon sa font ng Mac ang natutunan niya sa calligraphy class. That's the reason pala na ako naniniwala talaga akong may Diyos, no? Kasi who could have thought na yun pala ang reason kung bakit nag-enroll siya sa calligraphy class? Di ba? Nagamit. Okay? Tapos, ano pa ba dito? Stay hungry, stay foolish, don't waste your time. Si Limuel, yung 3-story. Kay Glenn, sabi niya, have the courage, follow your heart. No? Have the courage, follow your heart. Sabi ni Erin, no? Death is part of everything you do. No? Rowena, connecting the dots only by looking backward po yan, Weng, no? Looking backward, you can only connect the dots. You can connect them by looking backwards. Yun, tama yung sinabi. Your first story about his life being a dropout and how he turns out into a great inventor. So, kung nakita nyo po, there was an element of risk. You cannot connect the dot moving forward, but you can only connect the dot paglingon mo, kaya ko pala pinagdadaanan yung mga ganun na mga kasaksang katutak na hirap kasi yun pala ay may mga reason kung bakit ako nandito ngayon. Yung mga sangkatutak na mga challenges na meron ako, kaya pala kasi magagamit ko pala siya ngayon. Ayan na, nakikita nyo, naintindihan nyo, yung connecting the dots. So sometimes, never think that whatever challenges, experiences that you have, don't ever think na wala pong value yan, wala pong saysayan, meron yan. Meron yang paggagamitan. Hindi mo lang pa alam kung saan gagamitin yan. Balang araw, paglingon mo, doon mo na makokonek ang dot. Kaya pala na nangyari sa akin yan kasi eto pala ang paggagamitan nun. Diba? Okay. Nakita niyo po yung story doon sa pangalawa, yung love. Yung love. Okay. Ito, ayan, sinabi ni Mel dito, follow your heart and don't quit because it's the stepping stone to your career. Okay. Doon po tayo sa love. No? Una kasi connecting the dots. Dahil pangalawa, yung love. Grabe, napakasakit po ang nangyari kay Steve Jobs. Si Steve Jobs ho, pinatalsik siya sa kumpanya na mismo siya ang nagtayo. Imagine, pinatalsik siya sa very company na siya mismo ang nagpatayo. He got kicked out. Pero, nakita nyo how he responds? Yung response niya, kasi na-kick out siya doon, pinalabas siya sa kumpanya na siya mismo ang nag-organize o nagtayo. Pero look at what happened. He started a new company again. Nag-umpisa ulit siya ng bagong kumpanya. Ano yung kumpanya ngayon? Next. Di ba? Next ang pangalan. Nagtayo siya ng bagong kumpanya. Ang pangalan ay Next. At hindi lang yan, ha? Gumawa pa siya ng animation na pelikula, yung DreamWorks. Toy Story. Di ba? Naalala nyo, sinabi niya, ginawa niya ang movie na Toy Story. Minsan, sa Pixar po yan, ha? Minsan, hindi natin maintindihan. Alam mo bakit napatalsik si Steve Jobs sa kumpanya na? Siguro frustrated si Steve Jobs. Alam ko frustrated siya, napatalsik siya Pero, ang tingin kasi ni Lord ay eto. Kung Steve, kung hindi ka mapapaalis dyan sa Apple, hindi ka gagawa ng animation sa Pixar at hindi mo makilala yung wife mo. Di ba? Kailangan talagang alisin kita dyan para ma-meet mo yung wife mo at etong wife na to, siya ang nandyan para sa iyo hanggang mamatay ka. Di ba? Kung hindi po napatalsik si Steve Jobs sa Apple, hindi niya ma-meet yung wife niya. Oh, di ba? Pero, bakit nag-umpisa siya ng kumpanya na Next? Di ba? Nag-umpisa siya ng kumpanya na Next. Anong sabi niya? Because I love what I do. I love what I do. Kaya kung love mo, kung ano yung ginagawa mo na love mo, ipagpatuloy mo yan. Tuloy-tuloy yan kasi love mo yung ginagawa mo eh. Tama po ba? Ito, tatanungin na lang kita. Ikaw ba? Do you love what you do? Ngayon po, kayo po guys, do you love what you are doing right now? So he was able to start again because he loves what he does. Pero tingnan mo, because love niya ang gusto niya yung trabaho niya, nakagawa siya ng isang software na magbibitbit sa kanya pabalik sa Apple. So nakabalik siya ng Apple. Naibalik sa kanya yung kumpanya niya. Kasi inacquire ni Apple yung Next, tapos siya yung CEO ng Next, so nakabalik siya sa Apple. Kung titingnan niyo po guys, pinaalis lang siya sa Apple para ma-meet niya ang wife niya. Kailangan niyang gumawa ng Toy Story para ma-meet niya ang wife niya. Kailangan niyang umalis sa Apple para ma-invento niya ang pinaka-the best na software para sa Apple. Kasi hindi niya maiisip yan kung nasa loob siya ng Apple. Kasi mawawala yung drive eh. So, inilabas siya para mapilitan siyang mag-isip ng bago. Inilabas siya para mapilitan siyang mag-isip ng bago. So, konektado pa rin ang dots. Di ba? Konektado pa rin ang dots. Yung pangatlong pinag-usapan, ano yung pangatlong pinag-usapan? Ano yung pang-third na pinag-usapan? Di ba ang third is death? Death ang pinag-usapan. Don't waste your time living somebody else's dream. You don't have all the time in the world. So therefore, don't waste it. Kaya nga if you are a true entrepreneur, you are not going to waste time. True entrepreneur never buys out reasons, but rather seize the moment. Okay? Another lesson, death will come to all of us. It's a way of clearing the old and paving for the new. So ano dapat ang gagawin natin? Paghandaan natin para sa susunod na generation. Turuan mo yung mga anak mo, turuan mo yung mga kapartner mo sa negosyo na matutunan nila ang dapat gawin nila because you don't have all the time in the world. You don't have all the time in the world. Tingnan mo, nasa May 25 na tayo, 5 days from now, tapos ng May, mag-June na tayo. Ano pang ginagawa mo dyan? Parati kang nagsasayang ng oras. No? So, wag nang magsayang ng oras. Okay. So, maganda po yung life lesson na nakuha natin kay Steve Jobs. So, let's take on the first topic that we're going to have, and that is oras. Now, I always say this, that though walang minsan na magnegosyo ka ay hindi talaga kailangan na merong physical na pera, but one of the greatest capital na dapat meron po tayo is yung oras, yung time. Maraming tao po ay hirap na ibigay na capital to. Marami po. Marami po sa mga nagninegosyo na excited sa umpisa, gustong magnegosyo, pero ayaw magbigay ng time. Kahit po gaano kaganda ang negosyo, kung ikaw ay hindi po kayo magbigay ng oras na aralin ang negosyo na yan, gagawin ang negosyo na yan, wala hong mangyayari. It doesn't really matter at all how beautiful and how potential the business is, not until ikaw mismo ay magbibigay ka ng oras. Most of us think na pwede lang siyang gawin pa banjing-banjing. No, hindi ho. It is important. Gusto ko pong papasok po sa kokote natin to. Now, we only have 24 hours a day, 27 days a week, and 365 days a year. Wala pong kahit isa sa atin dito na meron pong 25 hours. Wala ho. Kahit yung mga kasama natin tonight dito, mga classmate natin sa mastermind, wala hong meron na 24 hours po dito. We all share the same time. 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Pero bakit may mga tao po na sadyang marami po silang nagagawa sa oras na meron sila? Ano sa tingin nyo? Ano sa tingin nyo ang reason kung bakit ang ibang tao po ay marami silang nagagawa sa oras na meron sila? Pwede bang pa-share dyan sa comment section? Ano kaya sa tingin mo ang reason kung bakit ang dami nilang na-accomplish sa oras na meron sila? Pareho tayong merong 24 hours eh. Pareho tayong may 24 hours. Pareho tayong may 7 days. Pero bakit yung iba, ang sadyang dami na na-accomplish nila, pero tayo nandito ay halos wala tayong na-accomplish? Bakit? Ano kaya sa tingin mo yung idea? Ano kaya sa tingin nyo yung reason? Anybody can share? Sabi ni Julius, goal setting. Walang goal. Malamang. Pwede rin. Ano pa? Ano kaya ang reason kung bakit masadyang napakaliit lang po yung na-accomplish nila? Sabi ni Tanya, time management. No? Hindi siguro na-manage yung time. No? Sabi ni Weng, time management din. Sabi ni Ana Lizel, dapat ang iba daw nag-double time, pero yung tayo ay nag-single time lang. Si Julio sabi niya, may listahan sa ginagawa. Sabi ni Maricel, they make use of their time. Si Jofel sabi niya, commitment. Ang iba nakafocus talaga dun sa goal na gusto nilang ma-achieve. Nakatutok talaga sa goal, nakatutok. Walang iba. Ang lahat ng ginagawa ay going towards the goal. But the problem here is this, in reality, a lot of us actually is not the way it is. No? Alam mo bakit? Ito po, tanungin niyo po yung sarili niyo. Where do you spend your time? Aber, sige. Let's answer this question. Para ma-process po natin itong mga sagot po ninyo. Where do you spend your time? Saan ba ninyo in-spend ang oras ninyo? Any idea? Come on guys, come on, let's share. Dito po sa Mastermind, magka-classmates tayo dito. Ito po ay klase talaga, Mastermind class. So, mag-usap tayo, mag-connect tayo. Now, to answer the question, can you type it there? Where do you spend your time? Sabi ni Reyna sa cellphone. Sabi ni Mel, business and family. Pwede bang medyo specific po kayo dyan para gawin yung specific para ma-identify natin. Where do you spend your time? Saan mo ba ginagamit yung mga oras nyo? Sabi ni Alvin, "Ay, hello Alvin!" No? Medyo tagal-tagal kung hindi kita nakita, Alvin, ha? Last night, hindi kita nakita. But ang sagot ni Alvin ay trabaho. Sabi ni Lizelle, goal. Sabi ni Wing, work. Ano pa ba dito? Work, family, work, and business. Kay Michelle, first is to God. Si Mel, sabi niya, nasa bahay. Si Lerma, sabi niya, family. No? Si Marites, sabi niya, sa work po. What else? Who else? No? Si Maricel, hello Maricel, thank you for joining. Business and my family. Grabe ito kay Limuel, oh. Watching TikTok. Which is tama naman. Watching TikTok. Si Rain, sabi niya, sa pangarap. Si Maricel, sa work every day at sa business. Sabi ni Weng, important matters. Ano yung important matters, Weng? No? Si Irene is family, work, and friends. Okay. No? You know what? Ang hirap sagutin ng tanong na yan, to be honest. No? Hindi ba kayo nahirapan sagutin ang tanong na yan? Julius, 8 hours sa trabaho, 6 hours tulog, 2 hours sa cellphone, 1 hour sa game, 6 hours sa family, 1 hour rest. Si Jolene sa work. Now, I'm gonna throw this question. Hindi ba kayo nahirapan sagutin ang tanong na yan? Kasi if you are going to ask me, mahirap po sagutin ang tanong na yan. Mahirap sagutin. Mahirap po siya sagutin basically because we have so many things to do in a too short a time. No? Sabi ni Ma'am Minda, time goes by without saying goodbye. Tama naman. No? Si Ana Lea watching Netflix. O parang ako, watching Netflix din. That question is so difficult to answer. You know why? Because we have so many things to do in a too short a time. May mga role po tayo sa buhay natin gaya ng pagiging pamilyado. Ikaw ay either nanay or tatay. May role ka sa trabaho mo. Minsan hindi lang basta trabaho kasi minsan may mga responsibilidad ka rin sa trabaho mo. Lalo na kung ikaw ay isang officer, supervisor or manager at kung ano man. Hindi lang po yan, may role ka din sa spiritual mo. Sa simbahan, sa pananampalataya mo, may role ka rin dyan. No? Sa komunidad mo, meron ka rin. Botante ka. Pilipino ka. Kasapi ka ng komunidad mo na nasa barangay ka. May mga gagawin tayo dyan. Sa negosyo, ang dami mong role. Hindi lang ikaw ang may-ari, ikaw pa yung boy. No? Hindi lang ikaw yung nagbebenta, ikaw din po yung kahera. Ang dami nating role. Kung sa pamilya naman, hindi ka lang nanay, asawa ka din. Di ba? Hindi ka lang nanay, asawa ka din. May role ka bilang pagiging nanay. May role ka rin bilang pagiging tatay. Bilang pagiging asawa. Bilang tatay, ganun din. May role ka bilang tatay, may role ka rin bilang husband. Ang daming role, grabe, sobra. Kung ikaw ay bata pa, malamang nag-aaral ka. May role ka bilang estudyante. Lahat po ng buhay, lahat ng aspeto ng buhay natin ay may roles po yan. May role to play po tayo. Sadyang napakahirap. Sadyang napakahirap. And we are only left with, how much? 24 hours. Ito lang po ang meron tayo. We are only left with 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days in a year. Yan lang po ang meron tayo. But the question still remain. Bakit may mga tao na sadyang napakarami ang nagawa nila na samantalang pare-pareho lang naman yung oras na meron tayo? Ano bang meron siya na wala sa akin? Ano bang ginawa niya na tama na hindi ko nagawa? Ayan, sabi dito, multi-skilled talaga. Yan, totoo. Ang buhay natin, ang dami po nating role sa buhay. Kaya if you're going to ask me where do you spend your time? Nako, ang hirap sagutin yan. Mahirap sagutin. Kahit ako po, nahihirapan po ako sagutin yan. And if that would be the case, Jove, so ano ang gagawin natin? Ano ang kailangan nating gawin? Now, let me quote a passage of scripture in the Bible, no? Para po magkaroon po tayo ng perspective. Dito po, sabi dito sa Proverbs chapter 6 verse 10 to 11, sabi dito, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. Verse 11, and poverty will come upon you like a robber, and want like an armed man. Ang sabi dito, yung sa verse 10, a little sleep daw, a little slumber, a little folding of hands. Yung para relax ba? Folding of hands. Parang ganun ba na? Folding of hands. Ang kahinatnan daw ay magiging pulubi daw tayo. Ang kahinatnan ay magiging pulubi tayo. Ayan, sinabi, and poverty will come upon you. So even the Bible keeps saying that we need to be diligent. Yan lang ang mensahe dyan no? Ang mensahe po dyan is we need to be diligent. Dapat po masipag tayo. No? Yung Proverbs na yan na kinote ko, ang ibig sabihin lang po dyan ay dapat masipag tayo. Kasi kung hindi tayo masipag, mamumulubi talaga tayo. Yun po yung ibig sabihin dyan. No? So in short, magiging masipag tayo. But the question, again, kasi sabi ko po kanina, ang dami nating role sa buhay. Now, sige, nandun na ako, masipag ako. Saang role ba ako sa buhay ko na dapat maging masipag ako? Di ba? Kasi sabi ng Biblia, na dapat maging masipag ako para hindi ako mamumulubi. Pero ang tanong, saang aspeto ba, saang role ba sa buhay ko na dapat ako ay masipag? Kasi yun lang ang message dito dapat maging masipag. Pero ang question, alin ba sa mga role sa buhay ko na dapat ako ay masipag? Aber, ibabato ko to na question sa inyo. Sa kadami-dami ng role mo, alin ba dito ang dapat masipag ka? Any idea? Can you have some wild guess? Alin ba dito, alin ba dun sa mga role mo sa buhay ang dapat masipag ka? Kasi ito yung sinabi ng Bible A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a robber, and want like an armed man. Medyo flowery lang ang words, pero ang ibig sabihin po dyan, huwag kang tutulog-tulog, huwag kang magiging tamad, or else mamumulubi ka. Yun lang po yun. Pero ang tanong ko po, sa kadami-dami po nating role sa buhay, saan po ba dyan na dapat po tayo magiging masipag? Sabi ni Ma'am Minda, first things first. Ano yung first things first, Ma'am Min? Yung iba ho, any participation from the class? You might want to share something, no? Any participation from the class? Para po magkakaroon po tayo ng mga ideas. Si Julio sabi niya, masipag sa pag-build sa sarili. Yan. What else? What else? Hello, Jivo. Jivo Colamba is here. Thank you for joining. Hello, Jivo. Alin ba sa mga roles natin sa buhay ang dapat masipag tayo? Sabi ni Maricel, sa lahat ng aspect. Sa lahat ng aspect. Sabi ni Wayne, first in spiritual aspect. Okay. Yung iba ho, there are 35 of us here inside the stream. Sabi ni Maminda, according to priority. Ayan. Ganda ng word ni Maminda. Mamins, balikan ko po yung word mamaya ha. According to priority. Ano pa? There are 36 of us here inside the stream. What are the answers dun sa iba? Alin ba sa mga role natin sa buhay ang dapat maging masipag tayo? Si Mel sabi niya, masipag matulog. Learn what are your priorities. Yon ang sabi ni Ma'am Minda. Alam mo, gusto ko itong mga insight ni Ma'am Mins. Oh. Ma'am Mins, minsan mag-ready ka ng topic, Ma'am Mins. Ha? Invite kita na magiging teacher dito sa masterclass natin para your insights would mean something to all of us here. Sabi ni Mel, masipag sa gawain sa bahay. Sabi ni Weng, according to the desire in life. Okay, ito po guys. May itatanong ako. Can you manage time? Sabi ni Maricel, prayer first before anything else. Ito yung question ko. Can you really manage time? Sabi ni Irene, according to the need and priority. Okay. Babalikan ko yan, Irene, ha, yung word na priority. Sometimes, managing time wisely. Okay. Ito po yung tanong ko. Can you really manage time? Sabi ni Jocelyn, sometimes. Sabi ni Anilea, managing time wisely. But ito yung itatanong ko po sa inyo. Si Shelo. Hello Shelo, thank you for joining. Nakadalawang gabi ka na sa masterclass natin ha. Maybe if we focus, we really can manage time. Ayan, napakaganda sa statement, no? If really we focus, we can really truly manage time. Thank you, Shelo ha. Present ka na dalawang night, Shelo, dito sa mastermind class natin. Ana Lizelle, mind setting at management. Pero again, this is my question. Do you believe that you can manage time? Ganito na lang. Sino ba dito na naniniwala na ma-manage ang time? Sino ba dito ang naniniwala na ma-manage ang time? Sino ba? Sabi ni Ana Lea, yes. Si Shelo, thank you, sir. Sabi ni Minda, yes, mamanage daw yung time. Si Maricel, mamanage daw yung time. Si Mel, mamanage daw yung time sometimes. Si Lizelle, yes, kung gugustuhin. Si Julius, yes. Si Rain, yes. Si Leia, yes. Si Sarita, yes. Si Michelle, yes. So the question is, can you really manage the time? Kasi may word na time management eh. But truly, can you truly really manage time? Sabi ni Jaime, yes. Sabi ni Marites, yes. No? Maricel, yes. Si Minda sabi niya, we just have to be smart in managing our time. No? Yes, but not all the time na ma-manage daw. So not all the time. Sabi ni Maribek. Okay. Now let me share you my insights. Okay, let me share you my insight. If you wanna be effective, no? If you wanna be effective, by the way, who have read the book of Stephen Covey, First Things First? Sino bang nakabasa ng libro ni Stephen Covey na First Things First? Meron bang nakabasa dito? Doon sa book ni Stephen Covey na First Things First. Okay. Magandang libro po yun. First Things First. Okay. Now, number one myth. Okay. Yan, si Maminda, nakabasa siya. No? Magandang libro po yun. Magandang libro. If you have resources to buy it, buy it. Okay? Napakagandang libro po. Okay. Number one, time management is a myth. Okay. Ha? Totoo ka, Joff? Myth ba yan? Ang time management? Yes, it's a myth. No one can actually fully and truly manage time because it is something that you cannot control. Ulitin ko ha, time management is a myth. It's just a business jargon, na word. No, it's a career jargon. It's a word that we usually do with because parang business jargon lang siya. But it's a myth. You cannot manage something that you cannot get hold of. Remember that. The logic will tell you na hindi mo pwedeng ma-manage ang isang bagay na hindi mo mahahawakan. Kung hindi mo mahahawakan ang isang bagay, hindi mo talaga yan ma-manage. Okay. Nabigyan ko kayo ng example. Nakapunta na ba kayo ng mental hospital? Nung nasa medical school po ako, nakapag-duty po ako sa Southern Island na ngayon ay Vicente Soto po. Sa likuran po niyan, meron po diyang psychiatric ward. Meron pong psychiatric ward dyan sa likuran. Doon po sa psychiatric ward, may nakita po akong pasyente doon na hindi talaga mahawakan ng mga nurses doon sa psychiatric ward. Therefore, hindi talaga nila makontrol-control na kahit itali mo pa, ay sadyang napakalakas talaga. No? So ngayon, going back to my statement a while ago, you cannot control or manage on things or activity or event na something that you cannot hold of. So ang oras po, hindi mo po yun mahawakan. Gugustuhin mo man o ayaw, tuloy-tuloy po yung 24 hours niyan. Tuloy-tuloy po yan. Hindi mo mapipigilan yan. No? Tuloy-tuloy po yan. That explains why a lot of us only accomplish so little because what we do is we manage time. We manage something that we cannot hold, something that we cannot be in control of. Kaya po pumapalpak po tayo, kaya po kukonti lang po ang na-accomplish natin with the so little time we have. Kasi kung tutuusin talaga, we only have too little time. No? We really cannot manage it. Kasi hindi mo pwedeng pigilin eh. Ay, hanggang 1 ka lang ha. Huwag ka munang gagalaw kasi tatapusin ko muna to. Diba? You get my point? You cannot say that to the time. Stop. Diyan ka lang muna. Huwag ka munang gumalaw kasi may tatapusin pa ako. Hindi pa ako tapos nito. Saka ka na gumalaw orasan ha. Pagtapos na ako nito. Hindi ho. You cannot do that. So no matter how much management you're going to put into the time, certainly you will never be able to manage it. So kaya pumapalpak tayo. So Jove, kung ganun ang senaryo, so ano ang dapat gawin para we will be able to accomplish a lot in a lifetime? Na-remember nyo ang sinabi ni Steve Jobs? Yun sa last part, nung nasa death. Yung sa last part na sinabi ni Steve Jobs, na when he talks about death, that when the time that he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, that when the doctor had said to him, na you are only left with 3 to 6 months to live, get your affairs in order, it only send one message sa kanya na ayusin mo na lahat at ituro mo na lahat sa mga anak mo ang dapat mong ituro. Yun yung mensahe sa kanya. But the impact of that statement, Steve Jobs began to identify what are the things that matters the most. And everything else is secondary. Na-remember niyo po yung statement niya? Everything else is secondary. Okay? Sino bang nakadinig doon sa statement ni Steve Jobs? Nakita niya yung mga importanteng bagay, tapos everything else is secondary. So, grabe no? Everything else is secondary. Kaya Steve Jobs died accomplishing a lot of things in his lifetime. Alam mo ano yung ginawa niya? Ito yung ginawa niya. Yan ang ginawa niya. Inalam niya kung ano yung priority niya. And everything else is secondary. The problem with us, we don't prioritize. We simply keep on managing. Not until the time that you begin to put in the proper priorities, you will never be able to say no to the things that doesn't affect the ultimate agenda doon sa goal mo. Alam mo bakit? Kasi you don't know what matters the most. Now, if there's one thing that you are going to grade here, is i-categorize mo po kung ano yung prioridad mo. Number 1, priority ko ang relasyon ko sa Panginoon. Number 1. Number 2, yung family ko. Yung family ko. Number 3, yung negosyo ko. Number 4, yung other affairs ko. When there are schedules that get into, I know how to make decisions. It hits my family schedule. I have to say no to you. I'm sorry. Because this is much more important than your invitation. Nakita nyo? The problem with us is we really never have sit down on ourselves and really have thought a lot kung ano ba talaga yung prioridad ko. Ano ba talaga yung prioridad mo? Until na you will be able to put everything in right perspective, diyan mo na lang malalaman kung ano talaga ang dapat mong gawin. And therefore, you are going to do things within your priorities. All other things na wala pong silbi, na wala pong relasyon dito sa priority mo, hindi mo gagawin. Kasi bakit? You are only wasting your time. And remember that you don't have the lifetime here on earth. We are living in a limited time. In fact, actually, nobody does know if tomorrow morning we are still alive and awake. Diba? Nobody knows that. Live each day as if it's your last. You need to seize the moment. Do things that needs to be done today and not tomorrow. And sabi ni Donkey dito, we tend to engage in multitasking, which turns out making us unproductive. Correct. And risk all that we thought that can be done at the same time. We cannot serve two masters at the same time. Correct. That's the reason why we are slicing ourselves too thinly. Ini-slice mo. Ini-slice mo yung sarili mo too thinly. Job, paano po yung mga negosyante na marami silang mga negosyo? Yes, marami silang negosyo. Henry C., marami silang negosyo. Lucio Tan, marami silang negosyo. But take note, they only allocate specific according to the business na meron sila. And they trust people to help them with those businesses. Okay? Di ba, pinag-usapan natin capital. Nasa human capital tayo. Nasa letter H pa tayo. Nako, may U pa, may M, may A, and N. Anong oras na? 9:25. Nasa edge pa tayo. No? Nasa edge pa tayo. But that's exactly the point. That's exactly what I'm telling. That's the reason why we've wasted so much time. We've wasted so much time. As I get closer to my 50th year, magsi-50, I begin to do things that really matters the most. I'm looking at the company that I have built, that I need to be able to pass that on to my children, and I need to prepare all the things. Kaya nga alam niyo bakit ginawa ko itong masterclass na to? Because I need to pass on everything that I have, everything that I know of, for the next generation to use. That's the reason why I'm sharing this to you. Na what is important here is not just you listening there, but what is important here is that you will be able to gather more and more people to join in the masterclass, so that there would be more and more people that can benefit all of the information that we're talking about. Because I don't have a lifetime to live. And I believe that goes the same with you also. So in short, the best way to accomplish a lot of things in life is learn to identify your priorities. Yung libro na sinabi ko kanina, na First Things First, go buy that book. And after reading that book, you will begin to understand what are the things that are really important, and that thing actually is the first things first. Doon mo malalaman. I attended that workshop, and that workshop was so good, no? And it blew my mind away, no? Sabi ni Dong DK, there was this research conducted by an expert that about multitasking, according to the result, is not healthy to multitask, especially if you have not yet mastered either one of those tasks. Correct. Totoo po yung sinabi na ano yan? Jack of all trade, master of none. Totoo po yun. Totoo po yun. Guys, go get the book. First Things First. I cannot explain everything here, but go get the book. First Things First. You will really be amazed. It's available in National Bookstore, and I highly recommend it. Okay? So, nandito na tayo sa number 2. Diba? H is hours or time. Number 2. Dito tayo sa number 2. Utilization of technology. Okay. Dito to sa acronym na human, ha? Utilization of technology. So, nasa U tayo. Now, technology has always been there. Nandyan na po yung technology na yan. I mean, kung naalala nyo po nung time na natatakot ang buong mundo sa Y2K, Sino ba yung natatakot during that time nung pinagsasabi yung Y2K na sabing magugunaw na ang mundo, katapusan na nang magko-collapse na everything? Yung Y2K, naalala niyo po ba yung Y2K? Grabe, natatakot ako doon during that time, Y2K. No, Y2K. Na matagal na po ang technology, nandyan na po yung technology, nag-i-evolve lang po ang technology. Ang problem kasi natin, technology is already available, but we keep resisting in using and maximizing to the fullest potential etong mga technology na to. We don't care and bother to upgrade in order to make things effective and efficient. Kailangan po yun, guys. We need to be effective and efficient. And whether you like it or not, you've got to use technology to make things faster. Para po mabilis. Alam mo, hindi na po ngayon panahon ng typewriter. It's no longer the time of typewriters. Technology will speed up everything that you do. Diba sabi natin, we don't have lifetime to live. We don't get hold of the time. Now, we need something that will speed up everything na ginagawa natin. And then what is that? And that's technology. Technology will speed up everything of what you're gonna do. One of the priorities I have is to teach, to train, to coach, to mentor people. And if I'm gonna do that on a one-on-one basis, I will only be able to talk one person at a time, two person at a time, and I will be limited with space and time. But I am left with no choice, but I have to communicate to a lot of people, and that's the reason why we are streaming live. Why? Because I get to talk to a lot of people all at the same time. I need to multiply my presence. I need to multiply my time through technology that we have. Therefore, if you are not yet in there, and if you're not trying to embrace technology sa ngayon, kaibigan, hindi na po tayo sa panahon ng typewriter. Grabe. Everything is already at the tip of our fingers. Technology is very reachable na ngayon. It's within our reach. Abot kamay na po natin ang technology. And I don't understand why we don't bother to learn about it. Jahe kasi, nakakapagod. Hindi kasi ako techie eh. Sumasakit yung ulo ko eh. Sige, nandun na ako na sumasakit yung ulo mo. Nandun na ako na hindi ka techie. Pero remember, you are already in the information age. And whether you like it or not, you've got to embrace and learn it the hard way. If it's not the easy way, then you've got to learn the hard way. And if you are not going to embrace all of these things, I'm sorry to tell you, but you will be left behind. You will really be left behind. That's the reason why we accomplish so little a time, so little in a short time, because we don't make use of technology. For example, you're in business. Selling had become more easy if you're going to use technology. Ito po ba yun, sir, na book free online? Basta first things first. Hindi ko lang makita kasi cello eh. Now, ito, guys. Ako, I would presume lahat tayo nasa negosyo. Now, I would presume that na lahat tayo ay nasa negosyo. Now, just a question. Would you believe me ba, naniniwala ba kayo, na ang negosyo ngayon, malaking bagay ang social media? Ulitin ko po. Do you agree na sa negosyo natin ngayon, malaking bagay ang social media? Do you agree? Sino bang nag-agree? Sino bang mag-agree? Can I get a comment? Do you agree ba that in the business natin ngayon, social media plays a very important role? Sabi ni Maminda, yes. Maricel, yes. Si Leslie, yes. Si Jaime Tien, yes. Si Shelo, yes. Si Sarita, yes. Jevo, yes. Yung iba ho, do you believe it? No? Si Queenie, yes. Si Melchora, yes. Si Nancy, yes. Si Jocelyn, yes. Si Maminda, yes. Si Maribik, yes. Who else? Si Irene, yes. Okay, ito lang po yung sasabihin ko sa inyo. There is a science on how to do social media marketing. Ulitin ko ha. There is a science on how to do it right. What you see and what you have observed in other people is just only a tip of an iceberg. Invest on yourself in learning how to do it right. Invest in yourself in learning how to do it right. Social media marketing, hindi po yung nakikita ninyo na nagpo-post kayo at minsan nagbo-post po kayo. Hindi po yan. Para maliwanag po, para you will understand what I'm telling about. And there are people that are expert in that category, and hindi po ako yon, no? There are people that are expert in that category, and that's not me, of course. No? That's not me. But I do learn from the experts. I do learn from the expert. Why? Because We have to. Because we need it. Because this is the new normal. After this seminar, I have a teacher that I personally recommend that can teach you how to do it right, ang social media marketing. No? Now, siguro meron man dito na mga nag-enroll, no? Doon sa mga nag-enroll, si Maricel, sino pa ba yun? How do you find the training? Doon sa si Maricel Sunggahin nandito, no? Kasi ito nakita ko ng training to eh. Ano ba ang assessment mo, Maricel, sa training na sinalihan mo? Marami pa yon. Si Maribeth Maranga, nakita ko nag-attend ng training, Maribeth Maranga, si Wilda Morales, meron yun. Pero gusto kong tanongin si Maricel kasi Maricel yung nakita ko eh. Maricel, can you share what value ang nakuha mo dun sa training? Ano bang value sa training para sa iyo? No? Ano yung value? Kasi always we already accept the fact that the business we do right now is done in the social media, but yet we refuse to learn how to do it right. Now, gusto ko pong marinig ang sagot ni Maricel. No, if Maricel is here. Maricel, are you still there? What value ba ang nakuha mo nung ikaw ay nag-training for social media? Sabi niya, very fine. No? Pero medyo too generic eh. Yan, si Maricel, ito yung sagot niya. Very helpful talaga, sir, at maganda siya. Step by step kasi. Ano pa, Maricel? Ano pa ang nakita mo na nakita mo na mali na ginawa mo dati na ngayon natutunan mo na ito pala ang the right way of doing it? Ano ba yung na-discover mo? May na-discover ka ba, Maricel? Have you discovered that you have done a lot of things na mali on the social media marketing at dito mo na realize na ito pala ang dapat pala? Were you able to recognize ba, Maricel? Because after this, I'll give you the link on how to enroll. Yan if interested kayo. Kontakin niyo po ako, ibibigay ko sa inyo para hindi na kayo mamumblema maghanap ng kliyente o customer, ang social media na ang bahala po sa iyo. Mapapagod na lang kayo sa kasasagot, no? Ang dami ko natutunan. You can save time kasi pwede automation. Ayan, no? Pwede automation lahat na. Lalo na sa pag-reply ng mga leads ninyo. Ayan, gusto nyo ba ganon? Gusto nyo ba na automated ang pag-reply nyo sa kadami-dami ng mga inquiry nyo at gusto nyo ba na automatic, hindi na kayo napapagod para you can do a lot of things that matters the most? Ayan. Pero ano ang response ng mga tao? Ayaw mag-aral. Paano yan? How will you improve if you don't want to learn? Okay? So kailangan you need to go digital. Nagkulang ng D, sorry. You need to go digital and it is readily available for you right now. You need to go digital. Kaibigan, hindi na po tayo pinanganak sa mundo ng typewriter. You've got to go digital. You are left with no choice but you have to go digital. And if you are not going to go digital, believe me or not, one day you will be out of business if you're not going to go digital. Gusto nyo ba ma-out of business kayo? Friends, you've got to go digital. You've got to learn. You've got to learn it. Or else, maiiwanan po kayo ng panahon. Okay? Number 3, material things. So ano na? HRs, U is yung technology, use of technology. Number 3 is eto, M, material things. Okay. Now, in doing the business, there will be things that you will be needing. When you're going to start a business, there will always be things that you're going to be needing. There has to be a tools that you are going to use. Ang advocacy po natin sa masterclass po natin sa community natin na to ay we want to send a strong message that we are going to develop a home-based business. Kaya nga tinawag ko ang community na to na Pinoy Homepreneur. Ito po yung tawag ko sa community natin, Pinoy Homepreneur Community. Now, part of setting up your business is you've got to prepare some material things. Number 1, you've got to have a piece of table. Kasi hindi naman po pwedeng wala kang mesa. Kahit nasa bahay ka, you've got to have a working area. That's the reason why wala po tayong na-accomplish na trabaho sa bahay natin kasi ang ginagawa natin, nakahiga lang tayo sa kama, nakahiga sa sofa, at after a few minutes, natutulog ka na ng mahimbing. Bakit? Because wala kang working area. Okay, magtanong ako. Sino ba dito sa inyo na merong working area sa bahay? If you notice me, I am always in this spot na may blind sa likuran because this is my working area. I have a small table here. I have a little side table wherein I can place my things. On the right side, I have a little small table naman. Oh, ayan yung small table ko na nasaan ang mga libro ko. No, kasi ito yung mga babasahin ko. Ayan, nakikita niyo po. I have a small working area. Now, ang tanong ko po, sino ba dito ang merong working area? Do you have a working area? Si Sheila meron, si Mel meron. How about the rest? Alam mo, hindi mo kailangan ng malaking pwesto. Hindi mo kailangan ng malaking lugar. All you've got to have is just a small table that you can write, you can put your gadgets or whatever, but find a working area. Find a working area. You've got to have it. You've got to have it. In the working area, put some office supplies, notebook, ballpen, paper, no? Put something in there that it would look like an office. An office table, perhaps, no? So, ano bang meron sa office table? Ballpen, paper, siguro kung may mga highlighters ka, pentel pen, anything that you are going to use in a table. It is important that you're gonna have that because it helps you focus what are the things that you need to do in a day. Ilagay niyo po dyan. Lalagyan ng sa cellphone mo. Ako, meron akong ganito. Lalagyan ng cellphone ko. Ayan. Nilalagay ko yung cellphone dyan. Kasi nagla-live ako. Nandyan yan. Lahat. Because if you're not ganito po yun eh. Those things na sinet up mo, mga material things yan eh. Hindi naman mahal yan. No? Hindi po mahal yan, no? Hindi po mahal yan na hindi mo po kayang bilhin. Hindi po mahal yan. So you've got to have that area. Alam mo bakit? Para po, pagising ng umaga, nasa work mode ka. Ulitin ko ha, para pagising ng mo sa umaga, nasa work mode ka. That's the reason why na natutulog ka, na wala kang ma-accomplish sa araw-araw kasi hindi ka naka-work mode. Kaya ako, pagising ko sa umaga, naliligo ako, nagbibihis ako, uupo ako dito sa upuan ko as if na nasa opisina ako kahit nasa bahay ako. Bakit? I'm setting myself in a work mode. That's the reason why wala kang ma-accomplish sa bahay. That's the reason why natulog ka lang ng tulog sa bahay. It's because you're not setting yourself into the work mode. Tama ba ako? Am I correct with that? Mga classmates? Tama ba ako doon? Na nakatulog na lang kayo? Kasi, naka-shorts lang, naka-t-shirt, minsan naka-pajama pa. Ay, kasi home base kasi ako, Sir Joff eh. Home base. Yan. Sarap ng home base. Sarap ng mukha mo. Wala ka magawa dyan. Hihiga ka lang dun sa sofa at unti-unting matutulog. Ay, sarap ng home base kasi pwede mong gawin makapajama ka. Believe me guys, I've tried it already. I've tried it na parang comfy lang. Sa sobrang comfy, wala talagang nagawa. So set it. Okay ha? Set it at your home. Now, after ng masterclass nito, it's not enough that you listen, but it is important that you're going to do it. So set up kayo. No? Mag-set up kayo ng working area in your place. No? Hindi naman kailangan talagang malaking lugar. No? Just find a space. Okay? Number 4. Ability. So human, no? H-U-M-A. Oh, abilities. Alam mo, maniwala man kayo o sa hindi sa akin, lahat po tayo ay may abilidad. May abilidad. Iba-iba lang nga ang abilidad natin. Pero Joe, paano mo nasabing may abilidad tayong lahat? Ay, by the way, naniniwala ba kayo na tayong lahat ay may abilidad? Do you agree? Do you agree with me if I'm gonna tell you that lahat tayo may abilidad? Kasi baka ako lang ang kumbinsido dyan eh. Naniniwala ba kayo na lahat tayo ay may abilidad? Do you agree? No? Do you agree ba na all of us ay may abilidad? Yes, lahat tayo. Pero paano mo nalaman, Job, na lahat tayo ay may abilidad? Ayan, ito. Ipababasa ko sa inyo. Hindi ako ang may sabi nito. No? Ito po, nandito po to sa 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10. Ayan po. Basahin ko po sa inyo. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10. At ang sabi po dito, as each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. Anong sabi? As each has received a gift. Each, ang sinabi. Bawat isa sa atin ay nakakatanggap ng gift. Abilities are gift. So ito pala yung sabi ni Lord. Hindi ko sabi yan ha. Hindi ako ang may sabi niyan. Yan ang sabi ng Bible na sinabi dyan na bawat isa sa atin ay binigyan ng gift according doon para sa atin para to serve one another bilang isang maayos na steward sa mga grasya na binibigay ng Diyos. Yun pala yun. So, we're convinced that all of us have gift. Pero bakit hindi mo ginagamit? Kasi sabi dito dapat to serve one another. Yun na nga, bakit hindi mo ginamit yung gift na meron ka? Eh kasi Sir Joff, nahihiya ako eh. Nahihiya ako, Sir Joff. Eh, ibigay nyo lang sa iba yan kasi ano yan eh, kanang nanginginig kasi ako sa takot eh. If your mentor will tell you that you can do it, it means that your mentor see it in you that you can do it. Your mentor will not going to let you do things in which sa tingin niya hindi mo kaya. So sino ang may problema dito? Si mentor or ikaw na tumatanggi? O alams na. So ang taong tumatanggi ang may problema. Now look at here. Para ma-convince kayo. Di ba ang mga anak natin, tinuturuan natin? At may pinapagawa tayo sa mga anak natin Kasi naniniwala tayo na kaya ng anak mo yan gawin. Kaya nga inutusan mo kasi alam mo na kayang gawin ng anak mo yan. Ganon din po yung relationship sa business sa isang mentor at saka sa isang trainer at sa isang trainee. May pinapagawa siya because si mentor alam niya na kaya mong gawin. Di gawin mo. Gaya ng nanay at tatay, may pinapagawa sa anak kasi naniniwala si nanay at tatay na kaya na itong gawin ng anak. So kung ngayon ikaw ay negosyante ka, sabi mo ikaw ay entrepreneur, kaya nga nag-enroll ka sa masterclass natin Kasi sabi mo entrepreneur ka, o ngayon pangatawanan mo yan. Pag sasabihin ni mentor, ni coach, na gawin mo yan, gawin mo. No questions asked. Bakit? Kasi nakita ni coach yan na kaya mo nang gawin. Ikaw lang ang nagsasabi sa isipan mo na hindi mo kaya. Ikaw lang yung parating nagsasabi sa isipan mo na hindi mo kaya yan. Pero ang sabi ng coach mo, kaya mo yan. Meron bang nakaka-relate? Sino bang nakaka-relate dyan? Hindi ako galit Sino bang nakaka-relate dyan sa sinasabi ko? Siguro itong unang naghaha ang nakaka-relate. Huwag ganun. You are an entrepreneur. That's why you are here. That's why you are enrolled in the masterclass. Because you are an entrepreneur. Okay? Number 5. Ito na po yung huli. And I'll end with this one. Network or contact. Network or contact. In the world of business, it's not just what you know, but it's who you know. That matters also. Ulitin ko In the world of business, it is not just what you know. So hindi naman ibig sabihin na hindi kailangan ang what you know. Importante po 'yon. But it is not just what you know, but it's who you know in the business. You've got to keep on connecting with people. You've got to be engaged with people. Because the goal actually is to build relationship, right? Business relationship. And how are you going to build that business relationship if you're not going to connect with people? When you go to birthday party, don't just sit there and eat. Ulitin ko Kung ikaw ay negosyante, pag pupunta ka sa isang mga pagtitipon, birthday party for example, huwag ka lang pumunta dyan at kumain ng spaghetti at magkumain ng cake. At kung mayroong lechon, kakain ng lechon. Wag, not just that. You are there in the birthday party, yes, to eat, but at the same time, you are there to build networks, to build contacts. Tama po ba? When you go and attend to the PTA meeting of your children, don't just be there and sit down and listen to the teacher of what are the things na pinag-uusapan, but be there to connect with other parents so that they will be your contacts. They will be your network. Pag pupunta ka ng burol, lamay, there will be people there that you're gonna be going along with. Learn to shake hands. Learn to ask names. Share your names. Kaya nga maganda yung may calling cards kayo Prepare calling cards because when you are there, you connect. Connect with people. Connect with people. There's nothing to lose if you connect with people, but everything to lose if you are not going to connect with people. Business thrive, business survive when you are connected to people. And if you are not connected to people, sino yung bibentahan mo? Abel, let me understand. If you are not connected with people, then to whom are you going to sell your services? Kasi Sir Geoff, shy kasi ako Alam mo yung word na shy, guni-guni mo lang yun. Sasabihin na shy, pero ang kapal ng mukha pag nangutang. Ano ba yan? Shy kasi ako, Sir Joff. Pero kung mangutang, kapalan ng mukha, kaya. Di ba? I think we've got to change a bit of the way we think. Because it's not an option whether you're going to be connecting with people, but you have to. Or else you're going to be out of business. Friends, remember this. Sabi ni Robert Kiyosaki, ito yung sabi niya, para makita nyo. Palaking ko ha. Sabi ni Robert Kiyosaki, the richest people in the world look for and build networks, while everyone else looks for work. Yan yung sabi niya. Ulitin ko ha. The richest people, yung mga mayayaman sa buong mundo, the richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everyone else looks for work. Yes, tama yung sinabi ni Ma'am Minda. Mahirap gawin, pero kailangan natin gawin eh. Wala tayong choice dyan eh. It's not an option for entrepreneurs. Hindi mo yan option. We've got to do that. Hindi mo choice yan, hindi mo, pwede ba kayang gawin to? Or hindi? Gawin or hindi? Gawin or hindi? Gawin or hindi? No. It's not an option. You got to do it. Connect with people. Wherever you're gonna go, you've got to connect with people. It's an investment that you're gonna take. It's an investment that you're gonna take. Dapat smile. Dapat smile. Dapat friendly. Yun po yun. Dapat ganun po. Di ba? We've got to build teams. Now, there are 3 smart investment strategies. Now, these are talking about human capital. Ha? Now, we're talking about human capital. No? Kasi akala kasi natin pagdating ng investment ay puro pera-pera yan eh. Hindi po. Hindi po lahat ng investment ay pera. So, there are such an investment that it's not about money. Okay, number 1, you need to put up a good team. In order for you to have a flourishing business, you need to put up a good team. Now, understand the fact and accept it by all of your heart that you will never be able to build a sizable business without a team. Ulitin ko po. You will never be able to build a sizable business if you don't have a team. Big corporation has a team. Most of the successful people has a team. Therefore, if you wanted to become successful in the chosen business that you are in right now, by all means, build a team. Wala kang choice dyan. You've got to build a team. Hindi po siya po pwedeng solo army ka lang dito. You've got to build. Bakit kailangan mo mag-build ng team, Joe? Because let us understand that when we build a team, no? Dapat kasi maintindihan natin that when we build a team, mas malaki po at marami po tayong ma-achieve. Ayan, ito pong sinabi. When you build a team, ayan po yung meaning. Together, everyone achieve more. Ano yung meaning ng team? Together, everyone achieve more. So kung magsusolo-solo ka lang, hindi ka maka-accomplish ng mga malalaking bagay sa negosyo. Tandaan mo yan. That's why in any field, either in business or even in work, you've got to build a team. Because this team na binild nyo po, these are the team that will carry you through the difficult times in the journey to becoming an entrepreneur. So remember ha, kailangan natin mag-build ng team. Bakit? Because with team, you can now collaborate. With team, you can share. With team, you can support and assist each other. With team, you can exchange ideas. With team, you can trust one another. There would be teamwork. There would be inspiration to all of us. Anong tawag po doon? That is collaboration. That is collaboration. When you have the team, then we can collaborate. And when we collaborate, we can do a lot of things. Alam mo bakit kokonti lang po yung na-accomplish mo? Kasi you don't want to collaborate. Gusto mo parati kang solo. Gusto mo ikaw lang mag-isa. Hindi pwede yun. You've got to learn to collaborate. Yan. Ganda ng statement ni Maminda. Teamwork makes the dream works. Huh? Number 2, when you build your team, the next step is you're going to equip your team for success. Okay? Di ba, ang una, mag-build ka ng grupo mo. Ang pangalawa is you've got to equip your team. How are you going to equip your team? There's no any other way except trainings. And if you are not going to develop a culture of training within your organization, I tell you, it will just only be in a matter of time before your organization collapses. And if you want your organization to keep on growing and flourishing, you've got to put in the culture of training. And that actually begins with you as the leader to always be attending trainings. Set the example. Let your team see you that you yourself is attending. Ang problema natin dito, the leaders are not believers for training. Hindi believers sa training ang mga leaders. That's the reason why, dahil hindi sila believer, they're not here. Big question. Sino ba dito ang believer sa training? Sino ba dito ang naniniwala na importante ang training? Sino ba dito ang naniniwala na mahalaga ang training? Meron ba? Meron ba dito na naniniwala na mahalaga ang training? Si Maricel naniniwala, mahalaga. Si Jevo, sila lang dalawa? Si Cecil, si Maminda, sabi niya, grabe, kahalaga. Si Nancy, si Marivic. Ito lang, of the 40 people, ito lang yung naniniwala sa training, si Michelle, si Marites. Because if you are not going to develop a culture of training within your organization, I will be honest and frank with you. Your team will never grow. Your team will never grow. And if you want your team to grow, that would begin in you that really attends and advocate training. If you want to develop a culture of training within your organization, let it begin with you. Let it begin with you. If you're going to ask me why your team is not attending training, because you are not attending training. That's the only rational explanation there is. They don't understand its value. Nakapag-attend kasi ako, Sir Joff, kasi napilitan ako kasi tinext ako ng link. Alam mo guys, ang true leaders ay hindi na kailangan i-text yan. Ang true na leaders ay hindi na kailangan hindi na kailangan i-remind yan. Kasi kung ang mastermind class na neto ang pag-uusapan, hindi naman to nagbago ang oras eh. In fact, itong oras na to, parati itong 8:00. Halos na nga naka-isang taon na ang oras na to eh. Sobra na pala sa isang taon na ganito yung schedule nito, 8 p.m. Wag nang hintayin na kailangan pang i-text. Ano tayo, may amnesia? Ganun ba ang negosyante? Madaling ma-amnesia? Trainings are so important. It is even the lifeblood of the growth of your team. Without it, surely your team will slowly and little by little begins to collapse. You can never let it grow. That's the reason why we are investing so much on trainings. That's the reason why we're spending too much in training. Why? Because this will be the one that will bring each and every one of you to the level of success that you are dreaming of. I cannot bring you to the level of success not unless you want to be taken. Hindi ko po kayo mapipilit na makakarating sa pedestal ng success kung ayaw po ninyo. I can only do so much. No? Bakit kailangan natin ng training? Because challenges in business are real. The more trained our people are, the more equipped they are, the more they are ready to face the challenges. Alam nyo guys, hindi lang po dinadaan natin sa positive thinking ang mga challenges na ma-encounter natin dito sa negosyo. Totoo po lahat yun. All of the challenges that you're gonna face in the business are real. Even to the point that it will hurt you. And if you are not trained to encounter those challenges, you're gonna quit. If you think preparing this masterclass was so easy for me, no. It's not easy for me to prepare a masterclass. Probably you have seen an hour or two of training session, but you don't know how much time that I've spent just to come up with a module. How many books that I have read and how many experiences that I need to recall in my lifetime to put it here in one single module. And why would I do that? And why would I spend so much time in putting all of this? Because I believe that it can help you. I believe that it can help you avoid mistakes. I believe that all the things that we've been doing here will help you overcome the challenges that you're going to face. Because the challenges in the business world are all real. Nothing in there that is abstract. Lahat po totoo. Lahat po totoo. No? Number 3, and this is the last. Use tools to increase your productivity. Napag-usapan na natin kanina ang about technology. And whether you like it or not, you will never be able to build a business or increase your productivity if you don't have the tools. If you wanted to build a high-rise building, you are left with no choice except to use tools. You will never be able to Build it. Kung wala po kayong mga gamit. Identify your tools. What are your tools? What are the tools available na meron ka? Social media platform, cell phone, computers, laptops, iPads, tablets. Those are tools. The books that you are reading is part of your tools. What else? The people that you associate with are part of the tools. The masterclass that you are enrolling right now is part of the tools. Everything that helps you build your business, part of your tools. Gather it. Make use of it. Maximize it. Why? Because in building the building, you've got to use tools. May nakita na ba kayong tao na gumagawa po ng bahay na ang gamit ay kutsara at tinidor? Wala. Kailangan talaga pala. Kailangan talaga martilyo. May nakita na ba kayo na gumagawa ng building na ang gamit lang ay pala? Hindi. Kailangan may crane. Bakit ho? Because you've got to have tools. Identify the tools that you have. Use it. Don't just display it. Use it. Upgrade yourself. Pag kumita ka na, upgrade to a better cell phone because you're gonna be needing that. If kumita ka, buy tablets, buy iPads. If kumita ka na, buy computers, buy laptops. Bakit? That's tools. Tools that will make your business not just efficient, but effective. Hindi yung nakatanggap ka ng income, winawaldas mo sa mga bagay-bagay na walang katuturan, maglaan ka ng portion na ibalik mo sa negosyo mo para i-improve ang mga tools na ginagamit mo. Kasi paano ka makapaghanap buhay pa ng maayos kung kulang ka sa tools na mga ginagamit? Di ba? So when you earn something, allocate a portion of that earning that you are going to put back to the tools that you have. Maliwanag ba? Para po, continuous ang daloy ng income mo kasi patuloy kang nagpuproduce. Bakit? Kasi pinupunan mo ang mga kailangan para po tumatakbo yung negosyo mo. Just like company. Companies will always set aside a certain amount for advertising, for marketing. Bakit? Because kailangan nilang gawin yan para tuloy-tuloy na may bumibili sa mga produkto nila. What happen if they are not going to allocate something for advertisement, for commercial, for marketing? Wala na. Huminto na. So learn to do that. Learn to do that. You've got to invest on the tools that you have, or else magsasara ka. No? Magsasara ka. Okay? I hope that we are learning so far, no? And by the way, I would like to end it here, and I would just like to introduce myself to those people that were here for the very first time, no? So, sino po bang first timer dito? Who are first timer dito? Yung ngayon lang po nag-join sa mastermind class natin. Who are first timer here? Do we have first timer? Can you please acknowledge yourself? If you are first time in our mastermind class, sino ba dito ang first time sa master class natin? Sis Jevo, well, Jevo, thank you so much, Jevo, that you are here. No? Sino bang nag-invite sa'yo, Jevo, sa mastermind class? Who else, aside from Jevo po? Who else is here for the very first time sa mastermind class natin? Welcome, Jevo, ha? Feel free to come back again, over and over again. Sino bang nag-invite sa'yo sa mastermind class na to, Jevo? Para at least we will know lang na kung sino po yung nag-invite sa'yo. To those that are first-timer, I am Joffrin Villasencio. No? You can call me Coach Joff. Ay, si Ma'am Elena. first time. Thank you, Ma'am Elena, ha. Sana subaybayan mo ang mastermind class natin. You can call me Coach Joffrin. I am a man with 3 roles in life. I am a businessman by occupation, a teacher by profession, and a pastor by vocation. I am currently the president and CEO of B818 Premier Properties Incorporated, and at the same time, I am the mission director of Global Missions to Marketplace. The one in the screen is my number, no? 0933-822-0980. Please don't hesitate to contact me should you wanted to ask something. And by the way, kung sino po dito ang gustong mag-enroll para po sa social media na training, social media marketing na training, please text me para po maibigay ko po sa iyo ang link. Okay? Ay, si Maricel pala ang nag-invite kay Jevo. Okay? So, guys, bukas po may session po tayo alas 8 ng gabi. Sana po ay mag-invite po kayo ng mga friends ninyo na mag-join po dito sa masterclass natin if you find our masterclass to be very helpful po sa inyo. Kung sa tingin nyo po ay marami po kayong napulot na aral sa mga klase po na meron tayo, invite your friends and let them be here dito po sa masterclass po natin. Okay? So, doon po sa gustong mag-enroll para sa social media marketing, kung paano po talaga gawin siya ng tama, text me sa numero na yan, 0933-822-0980, para maibigay ko po sa inyo ang link para maumpisahan na po ninyo ang journey nyo para pag-aralan ang mundo ng social media marketing. Okay? So, thank you very much for tonight. At sana po may napulot po tayo na aral at makita-kita po tayo bukas ulit alas 8 ng gabi. Same po dito po sa Pinoy Homepreneur na community group po natin. At kung may mga natutunan po kayo, apply it. Apply it and also share the blessing dun sa ibang tao na ma-join sila dito sa masterclass natin para mas marami pa po tayong matutulungan. By the way, konting announcement lang po. Sa Sabado, I will be in Elron Hotel, Balamban, 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I will be doing a live seminar doon po sa Elron Hotel. So, kita-kita po tayo doon sa mga taga-Balamban, pero magla-live pa rin ako pagdating ng gabi sa alas 8. Okay? So, kita-kita lang po tayo doon sa Balamban, Cebu. Thank you and God bless you all. Bye-bye! Bye-bye!